Welcome to the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. It's the last rodeo of the 2003 regular season Pace Picani Pro Rodeo Classic. Hello, everyone, I'm Jeff Metters. With me is Butch Knowles. And Butch, you've been there. You say last rodeo of the regular season, that's going to lock some guys up. And a bunch of them came in here with a chance to make it to the Wrangler NFR. They got to be in the top 15 to do that, and so far a lot of them have answered the bell.
Well, you're right, Jeff. No, there are 17 guys that came here with a chance, and one of them that really stands out is Clint Corey. Now, he's trying to qualify for his 18th Wrangler National Finals, and I think he may have pulled it off. He won enough in the first go-around, moved him into the top 15, but there's a couple guys right behind him. Cleve Schmidt, Trey Fisher. He's got to pull it off again tonight.
Other guys you may want to keep an eye on, Steve Dollarhide in the bronc riding, and Big Joey Bell comes from New Jersey, but he's quite a steer wrestler, trying to make it into that top 15.
Great thing about it being the last rodeo of the season, it pays out $500,000. For more on that, here's Jennifer.
Jeff, Butch, you were talking about guys that need to win a lot of money in order to make it to the national finals. Well, there's money to be made here. If you win the first and second round, it pays $9,800. The semifinal round pays $4,700, and the final four, well, that pays over $10,000, totaling $25,000. And some of those guys need that much money in order to make it to the Wrangler National Finals, don't they?
Pete Hawkins not really in that situation, 12th in the world right now, comfortably in, I guess you could say. Matched up here with Moulin Rouge.
You know, Pete's had a good year. You're right, Jeff, 12th in the world, so he has no pressure, but still, these guys can win a lot of money. As Jennifer just said, they can win about $25,000 if they win it all, and Pete wants his share of it. Excellent ride by Hawkins.
Hawkins heading to his 6th Wrangler National Finals rodeo. Had some injury problems. In fact, back in 2000, he actually broke his back in the chute.
Well, you know, he got with Jason Jeter, who's a gym rat, and he started training, and, you know, he's fully back as far as riding 100%. This was an excellent ride, big rear out of the chute. Pete held his feet good, and not one mistake. When you look at it from a judge's point of view, Pete made a perfect ride.
86 is the score. We talked so much already about the Cowboys, but the stock here is top of the line, too.
That's the thing about it. You know, these guys all have their chance, and that's what you want. If you're Clint Corey or one of those guys on the bubble, you want to have a chance, and that's definitely going to take place here.
As we watch Larry Sandvik there on Raptor G's Durango, he's number 8 in the world. He's heading to his 11th Wrangler National Finals rodeo. Always a threat to win, and usually adds quite a bit of personality.
Yeah, he does. You know, last night, Larry had trouble on his bareback horse, just barely got it ridden, so he wanted to make up for it, show these guys why he is headed to yet another Wrangler National Finals, and he perfect ride right here. This Big Bay horse, Durango, jumps, kicks, does everything you need a horse to do in order to be a high score, and Larry, much like Pete Hawkins, not one mistake in this ride. That was perfect.
87 is the score for Sandvik. And of course, he's kind of loosey-goosey on the last day of the rodeo regular season. That's not the case for Trey Fisher. 17th in the world. He's one of those guys coming in here white-knuckled, hoping that when it's all said and done, he's going to Vegas.
You know, and it's all on this ride right here, Jeff. He's $3,000 out of the top 15. He's 17th in the world. He was 79 points last night, didn't place. It took 84 points to place in that round. And another tough round here, so I don't know if that's going to do it for Trey Fisher. When you compare that horse to Sandvik's, Pete Hawkins, starts good, but watch this ride take place. Trey gets a little out of shape right there. The horse kind of changes direction, hops, skips, drops his head, kind of wants to get Trey up over that rigging. I don't know. So I'm going to leave it up to the judges. It was a good ride, but, you know, I know he's not going to take the lead.
Now, it needed to be big. 88 to take the lead. 81 is the score for Fisher. Things don't look good. Next up, James Boudreau, number 7 in the world right now. And kind of in the same situation in terms of winning the go-around. Got to be big in 88 at least to take the lead.
You know, James has been to 5 Wrangler National Finals rodeos, and I think he's riding better this year than I've seen him ride maybe ever. And how do you say that about a guy that's been to the Wrangler National Finals that many times? But James has really been consistent this year. This horse, now watch the head come up, come right back at James. Puts a little more drop, a little more power on this horse, but yet James keeps control of his feet. No problems there. That was a nice ride.
So again, looking for something in the neighborhood of 88 to take the lead. The Cowboys have been great here. The stock have been up to the task, but right now, an 87 from Larry Sandvik has the lead, but there's still some stars waiting on deck, like the number 1 ranked Cowboy in the world, Will Lowe. We will be right back. From the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, round number 2 of the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic is brought to you by Pace, grab the Southwest by the bottle. By Wrangler, for the cowboy in you. By Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a proud sponsor of the PRCA. And by Coors Original, real Rocky Mountain beer. It's Guys Night Out. So far in the bareback riding, Larry Sandvik, thanks to Durango from Rafter G, has the lead with an 87. And here's Clint Corey, came here 16th in the world, about $300 back. He made a note that he won some money in round number 1. Right now, he's in the top 15.
Well, you know, he's 14th right now, Jeff, but Clint knows that he's not comfortably there. He's just barely ahead of Royce Ford, who's 15th. And, of course, we talked about Trey Fisher, Cleve Schmidt. But what a ride. You know, this is what Clint needed right here. This is a great horse that comes from Corco's, Anchor Bay. And Clint's been on this horse before. Good to ride, but yet the kind of horse that you can really get at it. You can see right there, one little mistake, Clint spurred over the neck, but no problem. It didn't really affect his ride. Very aggressive, good style, great control. I mean, for a guy heading to his 18th Wrangler NFR, this has got to help his confidence.
Oddly enough, a chance of redemption. He was in the same situation a year ago. Bucked off, did not make it to the Wrangler NFR. 86 here. It looks like Clint Corey's headed back for NFR number 18. Now to Will Lowe. He's going to the Wrangler NFR. Number 1 in the world, already won more than $123,000. Everybody's just trying to keep up.
You know, and what, he won the Winter Tour finale, he won the Summer Tour finale, and right here in Dallas, rides like this, he's just phenomenal. He's got a $43,000 lead over the number 2 man. And he is not slowed up one bit. What a bareback rider.
Oddly enough, you know, he won both of those tour finales on the same horse, Sky Reach Dip, made the most of it. And Will Lowe, he will be the guy to beat in Las Vegas. 83 the score here for Lowe. Here's Cleve Schmidt, same situation, maybe even a little more drastic than these other guys. He came to Dallas, 19th in the world standings, $12,000 out, so making it to the NFR, a little bit of a reach, but not out of the question.
Not out of the question. He picked up $2,000 in the first go-around here, and look at this. Cleve is going at it. Nice ride. You know, I'd hate to be sitting there with the pencil trying to figure this round out. These guys are riding so well, and it's funny to see the guys on the bubble, how strong they're riding. You know, they've drawn big, good horses, no mistakes. And, you know, Cleve, we've watched Cleve a long time, and I love his style. He's a big, long-legged young bareback rider and turns his toes out good. He's fun to watch, even with his feet. Perfect ride again. It is awesome.
What's killed him down the stretch of the injuries. I mean, just one right after another. 87, though, for Cleve. He's doing what he has to do. He's going to keep those NFR hopes alive. What a round. We've seen 2 87s, 2 86s, and now Forrest Bramwell, number 5 in the world. And this guy has the potential to finally put that 88 or better on the board.
Well, he has all the qualities, Jeff. But, you know, like you said, this is a tough round. But Forrest has got a good ride started. Big horse, turns back, difficulties all there. Man, oh man, what a ride for Forrest.
Ooh la la is the horse from Three Hills. Is it good enough?
Well, you know, when you look at it from a judge's standpoint, you look for difficulty in the ride as well as the consistent buck of the horse. Now, this horse was good right here, but then turned back, made this tight spin. That makes him a little more difficult. You watch for mistakes by the riders. No mistake by Forrest. Boy, like I said, I'm glad I'm not trying to judge this. Excellent ride.
Another 87 in here for Bramwell. 3 87s in this go-round alone. Remember, the key here is the 8 best after 2 rounds move on to the semifinals. So here are the guys that are moving on. So for guys like Trey Fisher, hopes of going to the NFR, they're pretty much over. Forrest Bramwell setting the pace after 2 rounds. Here's Jennifer.
Well, a 3-way tie, but this puts you in the lead for the averages. Is where exactly where you want to be going in tomorrow's round, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I couldn't be setting any better.
But it all starts over tomorrow in a tournament round, so.
Right. Tomorrow, everything starts out new. We've got the chance of some more money. It's the rank pin out tomorrow, so we might have to hold on a little tighter and make things work, but I'm going in there good.
Jack Daniels world standings, you can see what kind of a year Will Lowe has had. The big story, though, Clint Corey moving up into the top 15. He will head to another Wrangler NFR. When we come back, it just gets better. First steer wrestling, then team roping. We'll be back in Dallas in just a moment. Welcome back to Dallas, Texas. The drama in the steer wrestling is about like what we saw in the bareback riding. To get us up to date, here's Jennifer Smith.
In the steer wrestling, everybody's watching Joey Bell Jr. and Kyle Hughes. Joey Bell Jr. is sitting in the 15th spot to go to the national finals. Kyle, you're behind by just $1,500, but you can make that up tonight, can't you?
Oh yeah, you know, that's what this is so fun about the tour deal is there's so much money at stake and anything can happen here, so we're just hoping for the best.
You got to like the situation Sean Greenfield's in. Yeah, he's going to the Wrangler NFR. #1 in the world standings and has about a $10,000 lead.
You know, Sean's problem, though, he missed his steer last night, went out with a no time, and, you know, there sets Frank Thompson, Birch Nagard, and all those guys just keep gathering ground on him. And if you're trying to win a world title, you need to make things happen. He does a nice job tonight, 4 flat. That'll take the lead in the round, but there's some big guns coming in behind him.
And there is Kyle Hughes, and, you know, as he backs into the box here, he has to have a lot on his mind.
You know, he's thinking one thing, don't break the barrier, but yet don't play it safe because he has to win. You can't be safe and win. Holy cow, that's exactly the run he needed to put together. 3.7 seconds for Kyle, so now he takes a little sigh of relief right there. Good run, look at this steer, quick handling, nose comes up, Kyle just waits. That's a pressure run right there, great run.
Good tie down Roper, but right now trying to make it to the Wrangler NFR in steer wrestling, and Kyle Hughes doing exactly what he needs to do. Now to Teddy Johnson, he's one of those guys that's just kind of right on the boot heels of Sean Greenfield.
Well, he is the guy that came in here $10,000 behind Sean, and nice run there. You know the deal too, he saw Sean last night have problems, 4 flat today, so now he just needs to keep gathering ground. He can close that gap, maybe take the lead going into the Wrangler National Finals. There is so much at stake here at Dallas. Not only is it great to win this event, but you can make some big moves when it comes to a world race.
Now to Todd Soon, he's 14th in the world. It's odd to think that he's on the bubble, but Todd won the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo finale in Las Vegas back in June. And like Kyle Hughes, answers the bell there with a 3-7.
He spanks him, doesn't he? Watch this. You know, he is such a big, strong, athletic young steer wrestler. Slides the steer, the nose comes up, but what a good steer. See how quick he handled right there? That feels so good. Awesome run.
Kyle Hughes watching on, so Soon 14th in the world, trying to get a little insurance to keep him in that top 15. And next up is Joey Bell Jr., Salem, New Jersey, but he went to school in Oklahoma, and steer wrestling is his thing. Listed at 6'4", 220, but I think they need to reweigh him because he's bigger than that.
Yeah, that was when he was in the 8th grade, I think. Now he's huge. Boy, a little problem on the transition, but, you know, this shows what size can do, and he's a good athlete. Things weren't smooth when he went from his horse to his steer. Watch this. See how wide it was, and then he almost went over the top of the steer, and then look how quick he regrouped, shaped the steer, but it still probably cost him at least a half a second by not catching that steer clean, and he knows it right now. He's walking back knowing it, but at least he's in the middle of it.
Staying in the mix, 4-9 the time for Joey Bell. Frank Thompson now, we watched him win the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Challenge in Omaha just a few weeks ago. He's really steer wrestling well this time of year.
Well, you know, and he's riding possibly one of the best horses going right now, and Frank has so much confidence in his horse. He doesn't worry about getting out. He doesn't worry about any of that. He just handles cattle so well. He is on fire. Came in $21,000 behind the leader, and he's got a great chance to catch him.
That horse carried Sid Steiner to the World Championship a year ago. Frank Thompson hopes he does the same for him this year. For an update on the bubble, here's Jennifer.
Well, all that's going through your mind, I know right now, is just figures, figures, figures. You and Joey Bell Jr., that's what it's between, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and it's a bad deal because me and Joey have rodeoed together, and I've hazed for him all year. So we're both battling for one spot. You know, I want him to win, but I also want to win. So yeah, the figures are coming apart, but we're just going to do what we can.
Jack Daniel world standings, and just right there around 15th and 16th, Joey Bell Jr. in at the moment. Kyle Hughes 16th. As we move right on into team roping, Tanner Bryson and Boogie Ray. This is a new team. Boogie Ray, of course, roping with Jake Barnes through the fall, but they have split up just in time for Dallas.
You know, Tanner came in with an opportunity. He was 24th in the world, but he was $10,000 out of the 15th position, but they had a no time in go-around #1. They're trying to win this go-around, get out of here with at least about $4,000 and see what happens. You never know, even with a no time, what happens with the other teams. They've got to do this right here. They got to come out, put the pressure on them, 4.5. That was a great run.
That's a good way to start. And speaking of Jake Barnes, there he is on the right. What a formidable team this could be as Barnes teams up with Alan Bach.
Yeah, you look at it. Between the two of them, they've been to 35 Wrangler National Finals, 10 world titles. And if these guys go down there and rope like this, you don't know what's going to happen. 5.1. Alan Bach is just a machine. He is one of the smartest heelers. And I mean smart because position, he knows cattle, he knows where to be on them, he knows how to haze good. I mean, he just has everything perfect.
Experience not lacking with them, experience not lacking with this team. Speed Williams and Rich Skelton, for 6 straight years, they have won the world title.
Well, and look at here. That's as long a rope as I've ever seen Speed on right there. It looks like his rope ran a little on him, but usually he's got a steer popping out of there on about 15 feet of head rope. But right here, he reached a long ways, went left, one hind foot for Rich, but that'll still let him move into the top 8.
They'll head to Las Vegas eyeing history. They have a $30,000 lead in the world at the moment. As we move now to Matt Tyler and Corey Petska.
Well, Matt Tyler, one of the best veteran headers in the business, 15 Wrangler National Finals and behind him. But Petska's trying to get to his first one, and he looks like he's well on his way. Number 11 in the world, 4.5 seconds. That's exactly the run they needed. That ties him for the lead in the round.
It has been a quick round as T. Woolman and Kyle Lockett get set now. Right now, T number 4 in the world, Lockett number 11. He's another one of those guys that you got to put in there with guys like Alan Bach and Jake Barnes. I mean, just a crafty old former world champion.
Yeah, you know, when you think of team roping, you know, there's 3 or 4 names that jump out at you. You know, Jake Barnes, Clay O'Brien Cooper, T. Woolman, especially. You know, he's one of them, Jeff, and he's awesome.
Here are the aggregate results, and those are the 8 teams that will move on now to the semifinals and vie for the big dollars here in Dallas, Texas. And we'll take a look at the Jack Daniel World Standings. And the big question, anybody out there, can anybody mount a charge and catch Speed and Rich?
Well, you know, they haven't been able to for the last 6 years, so I'm going to say probably not.
And they come in here this year with such a giant lead. Next up, the saddle bronc riding. We'll see the top 3 cowboys in the world standings. Welcome back to the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic from the American Airlines Center down in Dallas, Texas, the last day of the 2003 regular season in professional rodeo. Moving into bronc riding, Dan Mortensen ranked number 2 in the world, chasing a little bit of history, trying to win that 6th world championship, the time for the all-time record with Casey Tibbs.
You know, and he's trailing Glenn O'Neill right now by about $17,000, so Dan needs to pick up the pace right here. You know, we're just basically seeing a preview to a world race in this event when you see like Dan Mortensen, Glenn O'Neill, Roddy Hay, Scott Johnston. I mean, they're all going to have a chance. And, you know, Mortensen right here, he's going to start it off with a good ride. Big, strong paint. Looks like he has a little too much rein, and it really shows up right here when that horse kind of circles because, you know, that rein kind of comes into it a little bit, but it didn't affect his ride. He is so good at handling his rein, keeping the slack out of it. 83 points.
First guy out, the leader at the moment with that 83. Give you an idea of how big the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic is. Mortensen, O'Neill, and Rod Hay all had a chance to go to the Canadian finals, but they bypassed that to come down here and keep the heat on for the World Championship.
You know, and it's a good ride starting here. This is Little Vegas right here. And this horse, well, this horse used to be a real nice bronc, but she bucks with her head up pretty bad, and she's not easy to ride, Jeff. You watch this horse when she comes around, her head will come right back at Glenn. And this is what separates the really good bronc riders like Glenn O'Neill from the kind of down the middle guys, because you can see how he handles his rein. That saddle's really dropping right now. It's trying to get away from him, but yet he just keeps staying back, getting his feet forward, setting his feet. I'll tell you what, he made a great ride right there.
Grew up in Australia, won the world title a year ago, number 1 in the world at the moment with more than $142,000 in the bank. And now to Dan Erickson, range sheep from Stay Smith Pro Rodeos is the bronc.
Danny Erickson went to his first Wrangler National Finals last year. He's 13th in the world this year, but I think he's riding more aggressive this year. And it's hard to say that, but there's been certain times in the summer that I've seen him on certain horses that he's a little faster with his feet, a little classier, and I think it's going to show up. You know, this guy, he rides so well, especially when they run rank horses in. He really shines.
So an 84 from O'Neill, Mortensen in there with an 83, Erickson now with an 82. Next up is Rod Hay. He is a 7-time Canadian saddle bronc riding champion. He has never won a world championship though, but this may be his year. Right now he's number 5 in the world as he makes plans to head to his 14th Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
I was lucky enough that this riding bucking horses has turned into a career for me, and I treat it more as a business. So my goal at the start of the year is to get there in the NFR, because that's where I can make some money and make a living at this. So that's my goal at the start of the year, to get there. To actually be there every year it's a great feeling. It's just great packing up and heading down to Vegas and to get the jitters for the full first night jitters and stuff, and get right into it. But it seems that you do your, you can do your best work there. You can be on a roll and be doing great, or you can really get frustrated and have, because you have such big expectations when you get there. So it can be a fantastic rodeo, and it can be kind of a little tough on you too.
The time is now to make plans to be a part of the 45th Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. For more, go to PRORODEO.com. Focus right now, though, for Rod Hay, just getting past Dip and Ponca Crossing. Needs to beat an 84 to take the lead in the round.
Well, this horse, and I was just going to say, Rod's getting ready for a big rare out. This horse always makes that big rare. Lots of drop, and Roddy Hayes making a great ride right now. He's under his saddle good. I'll tell you, that looked good. They put this horse in the bareback riding up in Omaha, and Clint Corey had this horse, and she drilled Clint Corey. So they put her back in the bronc riding right here. Roddy Hay kind of got a little foul there on the chute. In other words, he got hit, but didn't affect his mark out. And boy, what a ride. You can see this horse, she's got a lot of drop, doesn't kick hard, so that saddle just falls away from you. But Roddy Hay, he's under control right here, and they're going to know it. Great ride.
What a career he's had. Saddle bronc riding Rookie of the Year back in 1989. And the score for Rod Hay, 86, so we have a new leader. And now to Scott Johnston, another cowboy that shipped in from Australia, and he's just as tough as they come.
And what a summer he's had, Jeff. At Reno, he showed up there with broken ribs, and he kind of struggled a little bit. He made good rides at the tours, and he just got stronger and stronger and stronger, and now number 3 in the world. But when you compare this horse right here to the horses that Glenn had, or Dan had, or Roddy had, no comparison. That's probably 3 or 4 points less, and it showed up in the score.
Roddy Hay watching the leaderboard, still on top at the moment with that 86. Johnson's always tough, doesn't make very many mistakes. Steve Dollarhide up next. He's a guy on the bubble. Earlier, he talked with Jennifer.
Steve has to win $2,600 to get into the top 15. Wasp Dip, NFR horse, has taken guys to great places, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He's a good horse. He bucks. Hopefully things will work out good for the both of us tonight. So,
when you come to an event like this and you need to win, are you just looking for bonus rides, or what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking the same as always. You always need to win. It don't matter. This is how you feed your family. So you're trying to win first every time you nod your head. So you don't change things. Just keep going, doing what you're doing, or trying to do what you think you need to do. And it's not such a big change. Maybe a little bit more pressure, but basically you need to do the same things as you do every time you ride.
Hard to believe for Steve that he's traveled hard for 10 months, and it basically boils down to about 8 seconds.
One ride. He was 84 points last night. He ended up 5th in the round. So no money there, and Dollarhide's got a good ride going. Wasp fired, jumped, and kicked, but I think there's a yellow flag on the ground. Oh, man, and that is not what you want to have happen if you're Steve Dollarhide. That is so costly, and, definitely a good call. It just... that's a pressure problem right there. You don't want to hold your feet to the point you're going to get bucked off, but yet you've got to hold your feet to get a score. And look at this little horse. Fired, jumped, and kicked, and Steve's thinking about it right now. You'd almost rather get bucked off than miss a horse out, but any way you look at it, Dollarhide's chances are gone.
Aggregate results, the 8 guys that move on to the semifinals. Steve Dollarhide not in the group. This is where his season ends. Let's go to Jennifer Smith.
You really have to watch Dip and Ponca Crossing because he wants to rear out of that chute, and it's hard to get set, isn't it?
He has a good rear out. Today he reared out pretty good. Give me a little nudge there. In essence, that's the big trick with him. After that, he's really honest, really good to ride, and he's one our guy really wants to draw.
Now at the Pace Picani Challenge in Las Vegas early this year, you won $20,000. You'd like to see that again this time?
I tell you what, nothing would make me happier. I got some room to got to catch up a little bit to Glenn, and this is the last big rodeo for me till the NFR, and this is where I need to do some damage.
Jack Daniels world standings. Rod Hay actually moves past Scott Johnston, but down there at the bottom, Steve Dollarhide, hot in the first half of this year, but just couldn't carry the momentum over. When we come back, tie down roping, again, we'll see the top cowboys in the world, and barrel racing will be right after that. Glad you're with us in Dallas, Texas for the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic. We are ready for the tie-down roping. A few changes in the lineup here for that. Here's Jennifer.
We're missing one of our top contenders in the tie-down roping this weekend. Blair Burke had an emergency appendectomy in Kansas City last week and had to doctor's release our Pace Pecani Classic. In his place is Ricky Hyde, and he's already had a great rodeo. He won the round last night, taking home almost $4,000. But it's all just a bonus, isn't it, Jeff and Butch?
Well, you're right, Jennifer, and this is why. Ricky had already counted 50 rodeos before this event because he didn't know he was going to qualify, and you're only allowed to count 50 rodeos to qualify for the Wrangler National Final, so it's all bonus for Ricky Hyde.
First guy out tonight, Joe Beaver, number 9 in the world, and he has really had a great season.
Boy, he's got a good run started right here. He had a no time last night, so he's trying to win the round. 7.6, but look, he breaks the barrier, so Joe, he took a start at him, but that's too bad. You got to break a few barriers if you're going to win first, but you can see right there that barrier did not release in front of Joe before the calf released it, so he picks up 10 seconds. He goes from first to 17.6. Pretty costly little bobble.
Tough break for a guy that's won 5 tie-down world championships. Here's Cody Ohl. He's won 3 himself, plus an all-around title, and healthy again and a threat to pick up that 4th tie-down world title.
Boy, he is. You know, he's about $8,000 behind Fred Whitfield right now, and 8 flat's going to take care of some of that. If he remains there, he's going to win this round. You know, and what an incredible story. He totally blew his knee out. We all know that. Took 2 surgeries to reconstruct it, and then he jumps right back and he's in the top 3 in the world standings. Just incredible.
This has kind of been an up and down week for Fred Whitfield. The up earlier this week, Fred and his wife Cassie celebrating the birth of Sydney Marie, their 2nd daughter. The down came in the grand entry.
Yeah, in the grand entry before the first performance, they were introducing Fred. His horse fell with him, sprained his ankle. They weren't even sure if he was going to get to compete, but thank goodness the Justin Sports Medicine boys are on hand. They took care of him, taped it up. He's back competing, and right here, quick tie. That calf kind of strained a little bit, or he'd have been even faster, but now number 2 in the round.
6-time world champion, looked pretty spry as he made his way back to the horse, so Whitfield looks pretty good. 8-1 the time. Cody Ohl still has the lead in the round at 8 seconds flat. And here's Trevor Brazil. If you're going to talk about contenders for the world title, you have to kind of throw the reigning all-around world champion in that mix.
Yeah, right now he's got a lead in that all-around race, $67,000 over the number 2 man. And Trevor, this calf kind of strained a little too, 9.8 seconds. Maybe his horse overworked just a little bit, kind of drug him away from him. Tough round.
Cody Ohl still has the lead, and we talked about Ricky Hyde, and Ricky making it in by way of Blair Burke pulling out, and he's one of those guys just kind of sneaky, kind of good, and always seems to be going faster than you think he is.
You know, you're right, Jeff. Ricky, you know, he reminds me like maybe Ricky Canton or some of those guys. He quietly is always in the mix of things. He can break arena records, he can win events, he can win rounds, and look at this, he won the round last night. And 8 seconds flat, he's going to tie for the round again as Blair Burke claps for him because, you know, every penny that Ricky wins is less money that Fred or Cody or some of those guys win. So it's good all the way around. And Ricky Hyde has just been dominating these first 2 rounds here in Dallas.
12th in the world coming in here. As Butch mentioned, can't count the money toward the world title, but hey, it still spins the same. And Ricky Hyde has now won or split each of the first 2 go-arounds. The guys that are moving on, Hyde setting the pace. Jim Locke, the last guy to get in there. Cody Ohl doesn't make it in. Let's go to Jennifer Smith.
Well, this is all just kind of a bonus for you. When did you get the phone call about Blair?
Well, I knew at Kansas City last Thursday that he'd had the problem, and but then they waited. They tried because he really wanted to come here and rope, and he called me Thursday morning at 10:30 and told me that he wasn't going to be able to make it.
Okay, now didn't this happen to you at the Olympics as well?
Yes, it did. Strand hurt his knee and wasn't able to compete, and I got the call about a week early for that one. I'm lucky that way, I suppose.
I guess so. It takes the pressure off. You've won money at both of those events, haven't you?
Yeah, I won the bronze medal at the Olympics, and so far this has been great this week.
Jack Daniels world standings, you have to love the top 5 there. That is too close to call.
Yes, it is. It's going to be fun to watch. And, you know, Ricky Hyde right there in 12th place, that's all the further he's going to be because he can't count this money.
Disappointing for him. Barrel racing now, Cappy Allen, 14th in the world, kind of has her back to the wall.
You know, Cappy Allen, the good thing about this, Jeff, is she's riding her good horse that she won the world title on. This is Chris. You know, earlier this year, she wasn't sure if he had an injury. She wasn't sure if he's even going to be back and be able to be ridden. He's back, he's running strong, and she takes the lead with a 12.62.
Now to Janae Ward, 2 times she's made it to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo.
Boy, she came here, I mean, a long shot. She came here 25th in the world standings, but she won 3rd in the first go-around, so she picked up some money, and she gets around that 3rd barrel clean, and this horse can fly. There's no question. 12.36. Man, she just smokes to the lead.
That is lightning fast. Kelly Kaminsky will be next. Number 1 in the world so far this year. She's won just over $71,000.
Well, you know, here's a reason why the Wrangler National Finals is so important. I don't care if you're a calf roper, barrel racer, bull rider. Last year, Kelly won $82,000 at the Wrangler NFR in that week alone. So it is a huge payday if you can get there. And Kelly not only wants to get there, she's thinking of a world title right now.
Her time 12.70 kind of pales in comparison to that 12.36. Now to Mackenzie Brower.
Well, Mackenzie Brower, it used to be Mackenzie Miller not that long ago, just got married. She comes in 17th in the world. She's $2,000 out of the top 15. So a huge run, bumps that 3rd barrel, but no problem. And she gets out of there 12.8. That will move her into the top 8 for sure.
But Brower right now 4th out of 4. Let's go back to Jennifer.
One of the most coveted awards in pro rodeo is American Quarter Horse Association's Horse of the Year Award. Well, you're about to watch Top Tally, 2003's Barrel Horse of the Year.
On board, Darlene Casper, time to beat 12.36.
Well, this is a nice horse. This is an 8-year-old, and you know the thing about this horse, this is a very big, long-strided horse, but this horse is real strong on small courses. She won about everything you could win at Colorado Springs. That was a small indoor course. Right here, 12.69. That's a solid run. And you know, headed into the Wrangler National Finals, we all know that's a small arena. I think it's going to be in her favor.
Last to go, Brittany Posey. And as we watch these other girls go, I mean, that sets up for how good that run by Janae Ward actually was. 12.36. Nobody's come close.
No, that was a smoking run. You know, Brittany, she started out this year, she was just going to go to some rodeos, just to go to rodeos. Then she got within striking distance of the top 15. Then she's in striking distance of a world title. I mean, this girl's goals change on a monthly basis, and she is not slowing down a step.
She is definitely not going back to Texas A&M for the fall semester. She will be coming back here for the semis in the 8th spot. Janae Ward setting the pace. She's with Jennifer.
Janae came into this event thinking she had a pretty unrealistic chance of making it to the finals. You needed to win a lot of money. Now it's looking kind of realistic.
Well, what can I say? I kind of like it here in Dallas. I didn't think that there was any sort of chance at all, but, you know, it's one run at a time here at Dallas.
Well, speaking of you liking it here, you mean you won it the whole kit caboodle last year. Is it just this pen and this horse? You're not riding the same horse, are you?
No, I've been here 3 years and won money every year, and it's been a different horse every year. I don't know how to explain it.
Jack Daniels world standings, it's close at the top, but Janae Ward, what a story. She has moved into the top 15.
Yeah, that was a huge move, wasn't it?
One event remains. There's Terry Don West. It's been a record-setting regular season for him. We'll see if he can finish it with a bang.
Welcome back to the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. It's the Pace Picani Pro Rodeo Classic. Jeff Metters along with Butch Knowles. We've had a theme in the show. It's been guys that are on the bubble, around the top 15, trying to make it to the Wrangler NFR. As we get into bull riding, the plot really thickens. Brian Richardson last night really improved his stock, but there's a herd of guys that's right behind him.
Well, the bull ride is just crazy. There were 5 guys with a legitimate chance to go on to the Wrangler National Finals when they got done here. And you know, one of those guys, Will Farrell, he made a great ride last night. A couple of them, Cody Hancock, Clint Craig, got bucked off, but tonight they still have a chance, but they have to ride their bulls.
Cody Hancock's a cowboy, comes in here about 17th in the world, and I mean, he has just scratched and clawed, done everything he can, but he just cannot make it in to that top 15.
No, it's this simple, Jeff. He has to get to the whistle now. This is Broken Bone from Dan Russell. Big, strong bull, but I think Cody's there. You know, it's so funny when you put the pressure, and that is pressure. When you nod, you know, maybe in the riding events you get away from it a little bit. The only reason you do is because when the chute gate opens and that first jump goes, well, then you kind of revert back to reflex and you just ride because you ride the way you've ridden all year. But, you know, you still are thinking about it when you nod your head. And the time events you have time to think about it, that pressure. I mean, it's a chance to go to a $5 million rodeo, and it comes to one bull. We'll see if it pays off for Cody.
World champion back in 2000, holds the Wrangler NFR Arena record on 96 on Mr. Smokeless USA, but Cody Hancock at the moment on the outside looking in. So is Colby Yates.
Well, right now he's $14,000 out of the top 15. He still has a chance, but he has to ride this bull and score big. Big, strong bull. Now, Cole, he's there. Good move at the end. You see that outside foot open up. Great ride by Colby Yates.
What a great young bull rider he is. He has been stone cold all year. It's the best ride I have seen him make, and you can see he hit pretty hard. He's just kind of trying to hold himself up there in the chutes.
Yeah, he gets slammed at the end. He kind of hangs up just a little bit in his rope, and the momentum just drives him into the ground. But what a bull ride. This bull turned back away from his hand. Right there, you can see he almost dropped into that well. You see that free arm move up and over the bull. It gets his hips back up out of there. Man, such a good feeling. But right there, I mean, he got hammered.
Justin Sports Medicine team goes to work on him, still raises his hand.
Well, that ought to help because that 91, that's exactly the ride he needed to put together today.
So Colby Yates trying to keep the dream alive as we get into Jesse Bale and Ned Pepper, and this bull is tough.
Great matchup right here, Jeff. Jesse, number 10 in the world. He's been riding good as of late. I think he's ridden bulls good this fall, but oh, he slapped him, got him whipped down, and now Ned Pepper makes short work of him, but I think Ned Pepper makes short work of everybody that's been on him.
Getting past the 2-3 second mark on this bull is an accomplishment.
Well, you know, Jesse, he really wasn't lifting right there, and that's what whipped him down, and then he got set back up. But once you slap a bull like Jesse slapped him, it kind of breaks your concentration. And, you know, I'm not saying that that caused Jesse to get bucked off. The bull probably did, but even that little mistake will break your concentration.
Not really like he slapped him, he kind of petted him for the most part. But
yeah.
Clint Craig, 20th in the world right now, and he's kind of in the same situation as Colby Yates and Hancock and Brian Richardson, who's yet to come. Needs to make some money.
Boy, good effort right here, Craig. Oh, that rotten little bull. Oh, he's mad. That is not fair. Clint Craig was riding that bull. He's $5,000 out of the top 15, and look at this. This bull turns back, gets it on. He's wanting to whip Clint down. Clint's making those moves, doing everything he can not to disqualify himself, and then the bull just squirts out from under him like a balloon that you let the air out of. That's cheating. That bull cheated.
Now, Clint Craig won the Pace Picani Pro Rodeo finale in Las Vegas in June, and he will come up empty here as we move to B.J. Schumacher.
Well, number 3 in the world. Now, here's a guy that has a chance, if anybody can, to catch Terry Don West. He's $45,000 behind, but he could gain some ground right here, but you can see that bull rolled him into his hand, and no score for BJ.
Stingray kind of a pretty bull, but B.J. Schumacher, who made it to his first Wrangler NFR a year ago, just kind of sidesteps right on off of him.
Well, you know, that bull faked to the left. I think BJ maybe thought he was going to go to the left and kind of made that move, and that bull just left him right there, turned back to the right. These bulls are smart.
Hasn't been easy. Colby Yates has the lead at the moment, right where he needs to be with a 91. The rest of the bull riding when we come back. From the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, round number 2 of the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic is brought to you by Wrangler for the Cowboy in You, by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Nobody makes whiskey like Jack Daniel's. By Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. And by Pace, grab the Southwest by the bottle. Colby Yates with a 91 has the lead here in the bull riding. Cody Hancock in there with a 76. Both of those guys fighting, trying to make it into the top 15 on this final day of the 2003 rodeo regular season. Fred Betcher not in that shape, number 8 in the world right now. He's on chili hopper.
You know, Fred Betcher has impressed me so much this fall. You know, it's funny at Pendleton, Jeff, he won the rodeo and he threw his hat, and I think I said he threw his hat a little bit like a girl. And when I got here last night, he met me. He happened to watch that telecast. He wasn't real happy about that, but he has been riding bulls like a man. He has just been incredible. But at Omaha a few weeks ago, he tore his bicep in his riding arm completely in two. He wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to compete. You know, he's been, you know, getting it treated, taking things well. And I'll tell you what, it hadn't affected him a bit. This bull hopped and skipped, wanted to bring him down, then he just makes his moves. Great ride.
89 is the score for Fred Betcher, so he is in second place at the moment, right behind Colby Yates in there with a 91. Betcher said the bicep feels great, opted not to have surgery on it. You can see all the tape there. Now to Will Farrell, Thermopolis, Wyoming, 19th in the world, good bull rider. Would love to get things going right here on the last rodeo of the regular season.
Boy, good bull right here too. Turns back hard. Will Farrell almost gets into the well, but a good recovery. This bull's trying to get him on the ground. What a ride by Farrell. Now he came in $3,600 out of the top 15. He won about $3,000 of that last night, and he just stuck it on a ranked little bull. Tough bull, turns back away from his hand, and you can see right here as this bull jumps forward and fades, he's trying to get him to the inside of that spin. Will lets him pull him, and then he just gets picked right back up, and then he jumps forward again, tries to get him into the well. That was an incredible ride.
Not going to win the go-around, but it was darn good. 88 is the score for Will Farrell. For these guys that are on the bubble of the top 15 doing what they can to keep their hopes alive, as Terry Don West gets said. He's had a record-setting season. Number 1 in the world. Let's go to Jennifer.
Well, Will Drew, the youngest bull in the pen, Satan's own, never been ridden before. I want to know, do you just get a pit in your stomach when you draw a bull that has never been ridden?
Well, you know, I didn't know that bull hadn't been ridden before tonight, but you know when a bull bucks that hard and is that good, you know you got to get excited to get on and not get a pit in your stomach. You can't let them have the upper hand, because if they do, you know, they got you beat already.
You needed the win tonight to qualify for the national finals, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been sitting on the bubble for about 2 months now, and you know it's really exciting to come down to this last deal, this tour finals in Dallas. You know, having a chance a week after we usually would have, and you know, just to have the chance right now is great, and then to be making the best of it, that's even better. So I'm really excited.
Terry Don West right now eyeing his second world title. He won the world back in 1996, number 1 in the world, but he was injured at the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic back in Omaha and hasn't ridden like himself since.
You know, and that's only been about, what, Jeff, 4 weeks, but he made a good ride last night. I was impressed, and he's starting a good ride right here. This is super cool at David Bailey's. This is one of his rankest bulls. And man, I'll tell you what, he is not a happy bull to be around. Look at that. Holy cow, Terry gets out of a wreck right there. You know, I thought he had him ridden. This bull turned back hard right here, and Terry's in good shape. You know, Terry, when you run ranked bulls in, he shines, but right here you can see kind of got back a little bit and then dropped to the inside, and that bull felt him there, kind of faded and left him there, so no score. But then look at the bullfighters as they step in. This is what they get paid to do, but it is crazy, isn't it?
Greg Rumer and Daryl Diefenbach, kind of like a Secret Service agent. They'll take a bullet for you. Terry Don West just trying to stay healthy, get geared up, and get ready for the Wrangler NFR in Las Vegas, first part of December. The 91 still the best score we have seen so far. That coming from Colby Yates. Last guy to go here, Brian Richardson from Dallas, Texas.
Well, he started this rodeo here in Dallas 18th in the world, but he won the round last night, so he's moved into the top 15. But he's thinking more of that. He wants to be a champion here at Dallas. Good bull right here. Just jumped, kicked, and wow. But Richardson, you know, I was impressed. At Omaha, he won a round up there, and then he wasn't able to get on his second bull because he was injured. But man, he can ride bulls. I'm real impressed with this guy.
Richardson kind of peaking at the right time, ending the regular season riding as well as he has ridden all season. That's a great way to head to Las Vegas.
It's a perfect way. His momentum is going in the right direction. You know, and this bull turned back away from his hand, but he rode him perfect. He didn't override, but you talk about take a shot when he got off. 82 points.
Good little dismount there. 82 is the score for Brian Richardson. There's Colby Yates in 91. He's going to win the go-around. Here's a guy fighting to make it into that top 15. He will move on to the semifinals. Will Farrell, though, setting the pace with 176 on 2. Robbie Condra, Jesse Bale, Clint Craig, BJ Schumacher all will miss the semifinals. Jack Daniels world standings at the moment. Terry Don West, that record-setting year. Mike Moore, though, in second place at the moment. Time for our Coors Original Extreme Ride. We'll turn that over to Jennifer Smith.
After such an awesome ride, to have such a land like that, did it hurt you bad?
Yeah, that hurt. You know, I wasn't expecting it, and right at the last, my hand got stuck in the rope, and thank goodness I remember it all, but it just I went jolting to the ground real fast, and right on my head, and then everything just kind of blacked out right there for just a second. It just, you know, it hurts, but you got to get up and keep going, I guess.
Rodeo is now ready for the postseason. Next up, the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Professional Rodeo Super Bowl is at the Thomas & Mack Center, Las Vegas, Nevada. 10 rounds starting on December 5th. It will decide the 2003 World Champions. For Jennifer Smith and Butch Knowles, I'm Jeff Metters. Thanks for joining us here for the Pace Pecani Pro Rodeo Classic.